This episode is brought to you by Active Digital. Learn more at activedigital.com. Conferences are back, and we are live at Productfest RVA 2022. Do you want to decommoditize your products and services? Do you want to become a destination brand, increase your revenue, and have more control over your pricing? You're in the right place. Each week, we'll talk about how to create great customer experiences and how to orient your company to enable them. We're your hosts, Devin and David, and this is the Experience Leader Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We are back. We're actually here at Productfest in Richmond, live here. We've been hanging out at this event. Got the chance to talk to some really cool people, and just wanted to be able to catch up on what's been going on here, man. So,
well, first of all, welcome to Richmond.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. First time.
Yeah, man. It's good to have you in the city.
Yeah.
This is a cool event. It was, we've talked a little bit about different cities, sizing, how that impacts communities, tech, product, all the rest. Richmond does a good job of getting people together that come from some different disciplines that can still kind of pull end to end. And particularly the group that put this on, RVA Tech, they've always done a great job of getting the right people in the room. Like 350 people in the room today. Not bad for Richmond, man.
Hey, seriously. And the inaugural Product Fest, first time, knocked it clear out of the park, was sold out event. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this was good. And, we were talking earlier just about, you get people that come from like, hey, I'm on the PM side, maybe I'm on the data side, maybe I'm just a developer, but I'm interested in product. And it's cool to see the personification of, the org chart in the room, where it's like, okay, I know where you sit somewhere, but we don't usually talk, right?
Yeah.
Or if we do talk, we're maybe duking it out a little bit over something. And this is a good event for folks to really get to experience like, oh, okay, well, that's what it's like to be a product manager, right? That's what it's like to apply a little bit of customer lean, et cetera. So very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That one of the things I love about this is that you've got people who are, at major companies doing big things. And if you're, even if you're just starting out in your career, you get to be in the same room with those folks to rub shoulders in a place where it's not hard for you all to know each other, for like mentorships to start. That's a really cool effect, I think, that this event can have in a city like Richmond.
No doubt. And you start to see, there are challenges that are specific to mid-market. Maybe I'm giving Richmond a little too much. I'm gonna call us mid-market. But there are challenges around hiring.
Yeah.
Funny enough, a lot of the great organizations that are here, they know their people are kind of bouncing between those. And there are only so many people that know how to run product teams and to build great products. And so there's hiring issues. There are even just talent development issues, right? Around like, well, where does that come from? Which universities in the Southeast are those folks going to come from?
Yeah.
Are they going to come from somewhere else? Are people coming in from somewhere else? So it's interesting to see individual organizations. It doesn't matter whether you're, Capital One or CarMax on the bigger side of things, or you're a 10-person shop, right? And you're trying just to do some product consulting. Like, how do you find those folks? How do you keep those folks? How do you get them engaged? So man, very interesting to watch that kind of play out, hear those conversations, and again, like a lot of that commonality piece.
Yeah, man. No, this is great. I mean, and you definitely can find them here in this room. That's awesome. So this has been really great. I think like you've got a lot of history with Richmond yourself. Like tell folks a little bit about that.
So for me, I moved here to start a product company with a couple other guys. And so it's funny, like I very much, I've got a soft spot for product in Richmond, particularly because moving back to the US, we had just had our first kiddo. That was kind of a very definitive point in my life, and it was to start a product company. And so I just kind of naturally associate this place that's now home for me with product. And so, going from that, then getting back into the consulting world, getting back into really the heavy technical world, back out of that again, it's been interesting to watch just the growth here in this city. I felt like even 10, 11 years ago when I got here, there wasn't a scene.
Yeah.
There were a couple of companies, and I met those people real quick. And at that point, it's like, okay, I guess I met everybody. Outside of the Cap Ones, et cetera, that were obviously doing it in-house. And it's been interesting over the last decade to watch everything from incubators that are really pushing that. Capital One actually has been heavy behind that with some of the groups here.
Yeah.
To just entrepreneurial efforts that are going on. I was a part of that early on and continue to be in different ways, but super, super fun to just watch this grow. And again, to get hundreds of people in this room, all that have that, not just that job description, but that level of interest. It's cool, man. It's cool.
No, that is awesome, man. That is super cool. Really cool to be up here. I like Richmond. I'm a small town guy, so this is like my first time experiencing it. But I gotta say, it's a cool little town. The fact that you guys have this scene going on is fantastic, especially in a town where a lot of people wouldn't expect to have such a great sort of concentration of tech and product folks, even folks doing it at a high level. Yeah, it's really cool, man.
No, it's super proud of this little event that we were able to spin up, man. And it's definitely one of those things where I think speed is something that smaller cities can accomplish, right? Speed to be able to build up a product community and put on an event like this. Speed to be able to start a company and actually make progress really quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe that sounds funny to say because you think, well, no, if you want speed, you need to go to the Valley, you need to go to Austin, you need to go to Nashville. But the truth is, the concentration can work against you for a lot of different reasons in the market, but also in just building quality stuff.
Yeah.
Places like Richmond, it's like start it tomorrow, launch it in a month, and people will have their eyes and ears open.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of that today with just folks really dialing into that. But I think there are interesting opportunities to say, hey, I want to stand this thing up quickly, and I want people to notice. Do it in a city like Richmond where you can actually get noticed, you can get that feedback quickly. And you can get access to the people that have actually done it before, that can provide the right level of guidance, et cetera. Whereas, in a bigger town, it's like that person's never going to talk to you.
Right.
And so wherever you're getting your advice, probably from Google, that might not be the best spot. So I think there are a lot of advantages of doing this in a town that's smaller.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I've started. I started when I first went full time into user experience design many moons ago. I started a meetup in a small town. I'm from Greenville, and you're right. When that vacuum is there, the interest builds up, and I was surprised at how many people showed up to the first couple of events, and it's cool, man. So I love to see that people really showed up for this, and if 350 on the first one. Bar set pretty high for next year, man. But I think you guys are going to kill it. I think it'll be even bigger next year.
Next year just needs to be inside. That's all.
Yes, that's right.
As we're sweating through the camera.
A little bit hot. But that's awesome, man. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into actually interviewing a few folks who are here at the event, and we're going to get into that now. So thanks for listening, everybody. So my first guest is Jessica Allison. Jessica is in product management and logistics at CarMax, and she's also a part of RVA Tech, one of the organizations putting together the event. We're going to talk to her about the event itself and about her career. Let's jump into it. All right, folks, I'm here with Jessica. Jessica is with RVA Tech, and this event is awesome so far. I love this.
Thank you so much. We're glad you're having a good day.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. Jessica was kind enough to let us, set up here and to record some content.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic. So this is my first time in Richmond. So David's kind of been showing me around the town, and this is a great intro to Richmond. This is fantastic.
It's not always this hot here.
Well, he has told me I tend to be a hot weather person, but even I have learned that I should not wear 3 layers in June in Richmond.
Yeah. Next year, you'll know.
Indeed. But so tell me a little bit about what you do and your relationship to the event.
Absolutely. So my day job is I'm a senior product manager at CarMax, and I work in our logistics space currently. I love it, and we just have a super strong community of product managers. And we think outside of just doing that at CarMax, CarMax, like, we're a staple in Richmond, and we love our hometown. And so how do we build up that community of product people? CarMax hosted our first Product Tank event 3 years ago, and it has ballooned into this wonderful full-day conference with so many additional sponsors, both corporate and just different organizations that wanted to get involved. And that's what today's all about, is the growth of product in Richmond. From that one first event to today, it's mind-blowing.
That is amazing. You guys sold out, so
we did.
That is awesome. So, I mean, your inaugural event, you sold out. How about that?
It's a high bar to meet for next year.
I mean, I don't think you're going to have a problem meeting it. So I'm from Atlanta, and it's really cool to see this. One of the things that I really think is it's really cool to have folks that are working at larger companies, pretty senior level in their career, and have an event like this where people who are newer in their careers can rub shoulders with those folks. I really like that.
We've got folks from all levels here, from students through senior execs, heads of product, several of those in the room. So this is a great place just to learn, but also make those connections that are going to help people grow their careers or grow their businesses. For the startups and founders in the room, it's been a really cool day. And the audience is just so wide and varied. We're having a lot of fun meeting people of all different backgrounds.
That is awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
That's
the fun's
cool.
the key word here. I'm just going to keep repeating it. Everyone is having fun, and we're talking about fun, and it's just been, that's what the event's about.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's really neat. You guys kind of have this two-stage thing going on where you can put on headphones and listen to whichever stage you want. You got breakout sessions and all in the same room, and it's working well. It's working really well. It's pretty cool.
That's the one thing I might not have slept well over last night, is how these headphones were going to work, but they have been a hit.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're a perfect fit for every single conference and event, but for this one, they've knocked it out of the park.
Absolutely. No, I mean, it allows you to take one big space and to actually have breakout sessions without having to move people around, and you're not having to rent an entire, building. So this is pretty cool. What was it like putting this thing together? How long was this in the works?
We started in November. Travis and I approached the RVA Tech Board. So that's the organization that's really helping grow Richmond as a tech town. And then we had that Product Tank meetup. Let's combine forces. We're doing monthly events. We've got growing, following, bigger audiences. Our monthly events ranged from 30 to 250 people. RVA Tech runs knockout conferences. Like, come on, this is a powerhouse combo. We just need to get together.
Yeah.
So we started working with them in January, officially on the logistics. We got the RVA Tech's board approval. We're just so excited to have the partnership. So between January and the end of May, all of this came together with their expertise. Imagine what we can do next year when we have a full 12 months.
That is awesome.
We can procrastinate for 5 of them. No, I'm kidding.
I know exactly how that goes for me, at least.
we can ideate for 5 of them and then start implementing.
What did I can't remember if it was Abe Lincoln who said he'd spend most of the time whetting the axe instead of cutting the tree.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just saying, there's something to be said for that.
Well, and we've definitely put our product mindset into this, and so there's a lot of discovery about what our audience would need. We went out and practiced with some of our Product Tank events, collecting feedback from every single session. At the end of the day, we'll get feedback on the entirety of the event. We collect all of that data, we look at it, we use it. We actually created personas and user journeyed out and created story mapping of what everyone would go through today. So that'll go into next year, and we'll use that time to regroup and understand what we need to discover more on, and build an even bigger, better event next year.
Like true product people.
That's
I love
right.
it. I love it.
It would be, I think, unfavorable if we didn't practice what we were preaching here today.
Indeed.
Folks would know.
That is great. So I want to just give the audience a little bit of intro into your background, like your career journey. Like how'd you get into product, and what are you doing these days?
Happy to. My background, education-wise, is in Middle Eastern languages and literatures. So no one thinks that the girl who studied Arabic at UVA and moved to Amman, Jordan after graduation is going to end up in tech and in product. But it's been an interesting curve. I started at the International Monetary Fund right when I got back from Jordan, and realized I loved process and digitization. And there were parts of my job that I just really gravitated to. And it unfortunately wasn't the part that I invested so many years in, but it was really motivating and inspiring to get into the tech field. So I became a consultant, and then I moved to Richmond as a consultant, started to get to know the local landscape. I grew up here, but I had moved away, and as I came back, it was like starting fresh. And then I joined CarMax as a delivery manager. just taking some project management and some tech and agile methodologies and bringing that to the table. And I joined a product org, and I was like, someone's going to have to tell me what this is. I was super curious, very keen to learn, and CarMax had been practicing product for a year or so at that point. And they had a program called Product Manager in Training. We call it Associate Product Management now. And I had the most wonderful mentors who took me through a series of learning modules and learn and grow activities, everything from stakeholder management to discovery techniques to communication and getting buy-in. We were going to have a session on getting to yes later this afternoon, like all of those influence techniques. So I highly recommend. There are several programs out there. I think it's grown. You see associate product manager offerings posted all the time on LinkedIn. That program was the catalyst and the spark for a great product career.
That is awesome.
I would have been lost without it.
That is so cool, and that it's just, again, it's a testament to that mentorship and having a path. One of the things that I've found is, people, I got into product strategy consulting, years ago, really about 6 years ago, coming out of a product role myself, and had people ask me like, how can I get into product, and I realized I didn't know what school to, like. I don't know that there's a school.
You're right.
that has a like a really developed like product program. So I started giving them books and saying like, start going to these meetups. Go deep on something and use that as a way in. That's one of the ways that I look at it is fall in love with something. And in my opinion, it becomes very easy to become a product manager in that area because all you're doing is solving problems. That's right. You're doing what's necessary to solve a problem in the market, and you'll learn all of that stuff.
That's right. It'll come.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, it'll find its way to you.
That's exactly right. Yes. As a product manager, problems have a way of finding their way
you. They sure do.
and sometimes very loudly.
That's right.
But yeah, no, that is so fantastic. And so. You say you grew up here in Richmond.
I did.
And you made your way back. What do you see as sort of like the future for product and tech in the Richmond area?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's why we're here today. There's so much growth. There has been so much growth, and we think Richmond has a really long runway. We don't have the largest airport, but we have a really long runway for growth of the tech industry here. I mean, you're looking at investment and commitment of so many different companies and over 350 people who say, like, Richmond's a great place to do this, and we've got that momentum to learn a lot more and grow a lot more. When we think about what the vision is for this event and all of the product events going on in town, it's put Richmond on the map. So when you think about product training, you don't need to go to San Francisco.
Yeah.
There's something for you in Richmond. There are experts here in Richmond who can mentor you. We want to bring that East Coast presence. We think Richmond's got something special. We're a lot of fun. And that's where we'd love to see us grow. And I think we've got the space. So now it's just, can we wrangle all the energy and put it towards this?
That is fantastic. Well, I am super glad that you all are putting this event on. Thanks for having me. Yeah. Actually, be up on stage in just a little bit. So Jessica, thank you so much for being on the show, and look forward to the rest of the event.
Yeah, this is cool. Thanks for doing it.
All right, thanks. All right. Our next guest is Travis Bjorklund. He is Principal Product Manager at Freedom Financial Network, and along with Jessica is one of the founders of the event. Let's talk to him. Man, so we are here with Travis Bjorklund. Man, just great to have you here, man. I am. This has been an amazing event. First time, and you guys sold out. I mean, that sets the bar pretty high for you next year, but I think you said that people didn't think it was going to be that big, and it was way bigger than everybody's expectations, which is amazing. How are you feeling about that, man?
I feel great about it. I think it really speaks to the kind of, like, what a great product environment Richmond is. I mean, Richmond is just full of really interesting companies, startups, big enterprises, and also a couple of really great universities. And bringing all those people together for this event was really fun. And I mean, we turned at least 60 people on the wait list away, and then who knows how many more that didn't even add to the wait list. So
wow.
I think we probably could have hit close to 500 if we wanted to. I'm really proud of the team. It was super great. All the content was fascinating, and the people, connections, it's all everything that we wanted, I think. So thanks for being here. Thanks for coming up from Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
It's been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah, I've been enjoying Richmond. Definitely, I got to check out some of you guys. I got to check out a local brewery, which is great. Some of the best sours I've ever had.
So good.
Yeah.
The beer scene here and the restaurant scene here punches way above our weight. So good.
Yeah, man.
I was another friend of mine here came down from DC to Productfest, and she was asking where she should go for dinner, and I had 10 places to tell her, oh, you should try this one. No, wait, actually this place. Oh, do you like this kind of food? Then you should definitely try this place. So it's that kind of town where there's just kind of an embarrassment of riches, and I'm really grateful to be able to share it with you and the other people who came in from out of town, and also be able to share this community with the folks right here from Richmond.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So how did the idea for the event kind of come to be?
I think we had done a bunch of virtual events in product, and some of them were big. We had like 500 people come virtually to some of our events. And I think, COVID was winding down 6 months ago. Of course, now it's kind of a spike again. And we were like, look, we need to get people together. Product's big now. Product, even a few years ago, Richmond's a little behind the curve on the name product management. I think people here have been doing product management for 20 years, but they didn't call it that. They'd call it project manager or business analyst or something. And now, I think the term product and the role product is very well known here. And so it's just time. And it brings in the tech folks, the highly technical people. It brings in the design people. It brings in the project people that want to get into product. And they all wanted to come, which is exactly what we expected and exactly what we wanted.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So to talk about you a little bit, I know that, and really by the time this airs, you'll be in that role. No, you're moving into a new role yourself. Can you tell everybody a little bit about your product journey and kind of where you're headed?
I'd love to. So I'm currently a product manager at Capital One in DevOps. I run our biggest business, Capital One's biggest business is the credit card business. Yeah. And each line of business has its own DevOps pipeline. So I run all of the DevOps investments for card and for our pipeline stuff. And it's been really interesting. I wanted to get technical. Capital One gave me that opportunity. I've met an enormous amount of fantastic engineers. And some of them are here today, actually. I was just talking to one. But at the same time, I was really excited about getting closer to DevOps is really though you have customers, your engineers, it's in the back office, and I really wanted to get back to the front of the line in front of consumers. And so I got an old client of mine when I was a consultant reached out and said, hey, I have what I think is the best product job ever. Do you want to come in and talk to me about it? And I'm like, well, hell yeah. Yeah, for sure. And a bunch of other companies called me at the same time. And, the big companies, they take 3 months, 4 months to recruit. These guys got me in and out of there. I talked to the whole team in a week and a half.
Wow.
And I got an offer for what I think, just the smartest group of people I've talked to. So the company is called Freedom Financial. We're going to build an app for money management app for the rest of us, I guess you'd say. Yeah. I'm really excited about it. I'm the market for it, is people who are not super financially literate. Yeah. And people that are, they kind of want to pay down their debt. So I just think it's a big open space. It's got tons of backing from the leadership of the company. I think we're going to have a blast. Can't wait to work with this team. We got a crack designer, amazing software engineers. All the infrastructure is already built and ready to go. So yeah, we're going to hit the ground running. I start on Monday. Thank you for asking. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh my gosh, man. So you're getting ready to get in the thick of it, man. That is awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, what amazing time this has got to be for you to have such a successful event and to be starting on a new journey in your day job, man. It's awesome.
I think the part that's best about this is, especially as I'm going to this new role, which is completely remote. It's based mostly in California, so all of my people will be on the West Coast. Having this connection to this place, Richmond is a special place. Atlanta's a special place too, by the way. I really love Atlanta, where you're from, Devin. But Richmond's a special place. I'm glad I get to stay here. I'm glad I get to continue to sort of be part of this community of product people here. It's a wonderful group of people, and everyone's so open, so friendly. really happy that Active Digital could be here and be part of this too.
Yeah, man, it's been an honor. And I hope that next year's even bigger and better. We'll certainly be back next year, man.
All right, man. Thanks so much. See you later, Devin.
Thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, man. See ya.
Our final guest today will be Isaiah Harvin. He is a product manager at HBO Max, and he is actually moving into a new adventure at Disney Plus. So let's talk to him about what he had to do with the event and where he's going. All right, man. Isaiah Harvin, man, we finally got to sit down.
Finally.
How you doing, man?
Good. Hot, but I'm really excited about how today went, and excited that Productfest is, round one is officially done.
Yeah, man, dude, you guys killed it, man. I mean,
fun.
Sold out on the first event. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. So like you're at HBO Max. I love kind of hearing you talk earlier. About what you do and some of the way that you have kind of moved up through your product career.
Yeah.
Dude, just kind of like tell everybody kind of what you do and your background, man.
Yeah. A little bit about my background. It started more in the brand management space. I like to consider myself more of a marketer and designer in heart.
Yeah.
And for me, I like seeing really nice things. So that was what inspired me throughout college and just through wanting to build skill and experience. Spent a lot of my time just doing design, doing web design, focusing on interface. And coming out of school, I started at Altria. And a lot of that world of brand management, it was awesome. I think a great place to start because I learned a lot about the importance of how you manage a brand, how that brand communicates, and then for like these older, more legacy brands, like how you build brand equity, how you influence user behavior over time, just through some of the work of like product marketing and brand management. So I learned a lot about the foundations of what does it take to actually build up a brand, build up a product, and how you sustain that over time. And I'd say because of that, and then going back to school for product innovation, I got to get this really interesting perspective of how I work on creative aspects of a brand and a product, how I understand some of the back end and like implications and just like anything related to the back end and how something works, and then translate that to what people see and then how behavior is transformed.
Wow.
And so that's a lot of the work that has made me really excited about joining HBO Max and staying there for a while.
That's really cool. That is really cool. So like, talk a little bit about like what you've been doing for them like recently, man. So like that's really interesting stuff.
Yeah. So been at HBO Max almost 2 years, a couple of different roles since I've been there, but the one I've been in the most has been this experimentation world.
Yeah.
And for us, there's all these different product teams focusing on the video player, on search functionality, kids and family, commerce, anything related to like payments in your account and .com. And my role is really to step in the middle of all that and test and learn. And what's cool about that is I get to collaborate with other product managers, other designers, other developers, and really start to ground ourselves in problems. For example, if we're noticing like people are dropping off of HBOMax.com because we're overwhelming them with too many options for plans, we get to experiment with how we showcase plans differently or how we talk about the benefits of like an ad-free plan versus a plan with ads. So a lot of my work is building new designs. It's building that new designs in terms of our UI, placing that within the actual experience for web and for the in-app experience, and then the same thing in the back end for the algorithms. And all in service of helping people find the content that they love, helping them engage more, and then helping them stay with us even longer. So kind of like in the back end, it's kind of validating our value proposition a little bit more. And if we see higher engagement, if we see you stay with us, that means our brand is working, our message is working, and we're building a really dope product.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. So cool to hear about that and how you're leveraging data to make some of your decisions. But I love the design focus. I think that's cool. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased because my background's in design. Like when you talk about that, like are you doing design? Do you have designers working on your team? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, the actual structure is really cool. So there is me as a product manager, And then there's a full team supporting experimentation as a whole.
Yeah.
So a couple of designers, developers, we have QA and analysts, project managers. So we're a full, almost like speed team that is focused only on testing and in favor of driving higher KPIs, higher goals, higher business objectives. So we really work in an interesting sprint process where we'll get a problem coming from a backlog or coming from user feedback or from all sorts of like loops of feedback. We'll build it, we'll develop it, we'll test it, we'll QA, and then we'll launch it. And what's nice is there's this dedicated team that's been involved the whole time, so that when we see a result and it's a winner or it's a learner, which is a loser, we get to really step back and understand why. If it's from a design perspective, if it's from the way that we develop it, from like user requirements where we're embedding something on a page versus a different approach where you'd have like something popping out. We get to really retrace our steps, and because of this like focus, we learn a lot, and we get to share all of that out to the rest of the company.
Man, that is really cool. That's really cool. I saw that you actually like got, kind of went spying on your LinkedIn profile, and I saw that you had, a certification from IDEO and design thinking. Like, how has that affected the way that you do your work, man?
It's so cool. I love IDEO, and I discovered them through being in the master's program in product innovation.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that helps me with today is just leading with empathy. So not necessarily starting with an assumption of what I think I know about the product or what I think other people know about the product. It's really about asking the question and then having experimentation or having some form of gathering feedback or inputs lead to what might be an insight, what might be the right solve or solution. So I think IDEO definitely taught me about, from the perspective of design thinking, really starting with empathy and then working my way into gathering requirements, gathering inputs, testing, learning, iteration, and continuing that cycle until we get to what we need to answer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome. I'm a big fan of using design thinking. I think that it's kind of interesting. Like you got some designers that are like actually like anti-design thinking because they think it's like too dumbed down of a version of design. But I love that the mentality has been exported. It's been spread beyond just the design professional. You have business people who think that way, and I've found it actually easier to wind up working with people, especially when you're working with a line of business, you're working with somebody who's been exposed to design thinking. It's a lot easier to work on product with them because you're not starting from zero. Like you have some shared language, you have some shared concepts, and I'm really appreciative actually of design thinking kind of going beyond the design house. Yeah.
It needs to be. I think there's so much we can learn from just a new or different way of thinking about the same type of business problems that every other company's facing in every other department. And I think it's nice to know that there's a bunch of frameworks to use, but like this one specifically, I think allows for some broader perspective for you to lift your head up a little bit and think a lot about how not just you maybe think of yourself as a user, but like all these other different like use cases for other types of subscribers in my world may think about a product or think about an experience, and then how their journey translates to something really cool or something that's makes you want to cancel your subscription. So,
yeah, no, that's awesome. That is awesome, man. I think that one of the big takeaways for me from applying that just in my career has been that people I love the human-centered aspect of design thinking, and I found that people generally get more engaged. They really want to lend their creativity, regardless of what role they come from. They want to lend their creativity more to something that they view as actually affecting a person's life. Mm-hmm. And when the human-centered aspect of design thinking makes it easy for people to see the connection to what they're doing, how it's actually going to actually do something in somebody's life. And I feel like you get a different spark from them when you do that,
Makes it more real. I always remember this one story about a subscriber that had a hard time really just watching HBO Max because she had an account that was like almost in a different product. It was a different HBO product from HBO Max, and it was hard for her to use her same account information to log in, and that really humanizes a lot of the pain points that people have, where it's like, as we migrate customers, they might not always have the perfect migration experience. Now, how do we think about testing around that or testing our way into something that will actually help subscribers not experience that pain.
That's amazing. So like I know that you're getting ready to kind of embark on a new journey.
Yeah.
If you're allowed to talk about it at this point, I'd love for you to kind of tell us about what the new adventure you're getting ready to go on, man.
It's gonna be a crazy adventure. We're heading out west after some long vacation, but gonna start this new gig at Disney Streaming. And really excited about this because I think it builds a lot on what I've learned in streaming just at HBO Max and in general from the industry and the news. And going to lead some really interesting work around consumer interactive and just helping people find more content that they love through personalization, through user signals, and a lot of the, I think, really cool inputs to a subscription service and a platform like Disney Plus, like a Hulu, like ESPN, that will really in turn just help people be more satisfied with the products.
Man, that is awesome, man. That is really cool. I'm a Disney Plus subscriber. Of course, I have 3 kids, so I'm going to be a Disney Plus subscriber.
Right?
You don't really have a choice,
Yeah.
right? But it's really cool to see the mix of options that Disney is offering there. I've yet to watch the first episode of Obi-Wan. I am sorry to all my Star Wars fans out there. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm failing in my fandom right now. But yeah, man, I've been impressed with that platform, and I think it'll be really cool, honestly, to kind of follow what you're doing and seeing how you're able to make an impact there, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's going to be a journey. I'm really excited about it all. So just, embracing the change.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, I will say, enjoy Disney, enjoy living in Cali, and the weather out there, and hopefully you don't have to drive around too much because gas prices are insane.
Yeah.
But, dude, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely, man. Well, what a great event. David and I had a great time. It was a great show, had a lot of great speakers, amazing brands present there and represented. And we look forward to next year. Hopefully we'll be able to come back and speak and do panels and all those fun things. And we're looking to show up at more events. So if there is an industry event that you know of in the product space, in the tech space, in the customer experience space, definitely let me know, and hopefully we can show up there, get a chance to meet you, and maybe get a chance to record live again. So until next time, folks, keep outserving your competition on your relentless pursuit to become an experience leader. Catch you in the next one.